What's up, y'all? This is SimRenewal for another video, y'all. This is going to be going over it. I guess it was an interview with Destiny, or AKA Steven, and Tree from TreeofLogic, or True from TrueLogic. Honestly, I was more interested in finding out who she was than who he was. Um, but yeah. Let's get into the video, y'all.
Usually a lot of girls that I talk to enjoy like a good ribbing, right?
Yeah.
Like if you not like, oh, you're a fat bitch. Women act a certain way in society for sure, but it's because men oftentimes want it, like
What do you think about the solution to the current incel problem?
we're getting more and more isolated and segregated today because of technology that originally when these things were created, I don't know if you remember like the first Facebook, like there were like
Yes.
four tabs on Facebook, and one of those tabs was like checking into like parties and stuff.
Right.
The whole point of social media in the early days was to augment our social interactions, was to make it better, not replace them. And we've replaced a lot of like this face-to-face on face-to-face in real life stuff with like online interaction, and it's not the same.
Before we get into it, now, if I listen to this entire interview back and forth, y'all know it's not for him. It's for them tittle biggies. Them tittle biggies looking real nice. She know what she doing. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Look nice. She real nice. I got my country came out. She looking real nice on this video, y'all. Let's get into the point that I want to talk about.
Usually a lot of girls that I talk to, and
Let's jump. Look at the shine. Look at the shine. Good lord. I think that's here. Come on, let's see.
like, oh, she's really pretty, so I give her a slide on all these things. Now everybody has their limits, of course, right? Like
Right.
if she stopped showering or if she became like 400 pounds or whatever, that's probably not going to work,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
talking about
okay.
this
Now, do you like a lot of guys, and this is what I hear on YouTube, but I don't see it in real life. So that's the reason why I'm asking you. A lot of guys are like,
She gonna
nice
do
guys
another
finish last. Don't nobody want a nice guy. And all these girls want a bad guy. They want a guy that's going to like talk down to them. I know you're familiar with this genre called the red pill, the manosphere. And the hatred they have for women is just mind blowing. But they always tell guys like, no, don't ever be a nice guy. Nobody respects a nice guy. Now there's a difference between, I'm sorry, I'm on Twitch. There's a difference between the S word kind of guy.
You can say simp, you're fine.
Okay,
You don't
okay.
got-
So there's a difference between a simp and a nice guy, all right? And if you want to describe the two, that's fine. But I don't think women want simps. They don't have a problem with nice men. But there's this mentality that women only want bad guys that's going to disrespect them, that's going to go around and cheat on them constantly in their face, that's going to talk down upon them, maybe even emotionally and physically abuse them. What is your opinion on that? Do you think, and from your observation, do women really want these type of men?
Oh, I would jump back to a clip of just my face, but I really want to keep those shiny millions, those shiny, juicy, many of her hand gestures of making, I'm just letting you know that look right here. You hear me speak, but look here. Okay, I'm gonna get into it for real. I believe honestly that she's speaking to an individual who I listened to one of his conversations with Abba from Abba and Preach, and he has an interesting way of looking at relationship dynamics, whereas is very heavily putting responsibility on both parties at all times, and I agree that it's very fair-minded. But in her case of speaking about the red pill community, which I won't even say that I am aligned exactly with the red pill community. Uh, like I said, this channel is all about continuing the thought process and allowing for you to continue down a path understanding best for yourself. What I've gotten from watching some of the videos from the red pill community were effectively saying that there are specific gender roles, and it's not the disrespect of women, it's the actual opposite. It's the not allowing the disrespect from women to men. So focus on being the best version of yourself to not accept the disrespect. It's not purposely disrespecting women. Now, I can't speak for the entire community because I believe there would be some people that say go out there and talk to them like this, talk to them like that. But no, it's from Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, what another this somebody else that I listen to, even what's Rogan or something like that. I maybe said his name wrong, but when it comes down to listening to these people talk about the how you should probably interact in a relationship perspective, they're never saying go out and be disrespectful to a woman and treat her bad and cheat on her in her face and abuse her emotionally and physically. They're not saying that. They're saying do not allow for yourself to be abused emotionally, physically, be used, be only used for your resources. If she doesn't respect you, if she doesn't actually care for you, then throw her to the curb. Effectively, they say be more selective, men, when it comes down to your women, because that statement of that's a lie. You know, with the whole women like nice or nice guys that don't like simps. How do you distinguish the two? As for women, I really would throw that back. How do you truly distinguish the two? Because you say you don't like simps, but you like nice men. But nice men normally are the simps due to the fact that they attempt to appease you in such a manner that makes them simpy. They're normally not being just them, they're doing things highly to appease you. So a nice man is what in your mind? How do you truly depict a nice man? Because a man who's holding himself to an honorable state that allows you not to disrespect him, yet are not being extremely rude and outlandish in his demands and his response, technically still is a nice man. You don't have to call her a bimbo. You don't have to call her out her name. You don't have to call her and do anything disrespectful to her. Yet all you have to do is hold yourself to a certain standard so you don't accept the madness and the craziness to come in. And that's all you got to do. So that's what I've understood from the red pill community, from my take from it. Um, so maybe she's only heard of the worst perspectives from the red pill community, but uh, I would say the red pill community does allow for, if you go through them, you'll realize that there's a lot more educated, realistic conversations being had, where we're just trying to reach out at this point to women and just say, this is how we normally think. Majority of us think in this manner. The average man thinks in this manner. If they're someone that's a celebrity or something like that, they have a different way of thinking. But the average man thinks this way. The average woman to high class woman to a low class woman, you all still have the same fantasy in many aspects. So yeah, let's listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, so I feel like I learned this so early in life. I don't know how this eludes so many people. So I think that sometimes when you're talking to a girl, you desperately want that person to like you. The way that you think that you do that is by reflecting every single opinion that they have back at them. And I remember as a teenager watching interactions like this, and I guess it still happens like even in my 20s. So, like, oh, what movies do you like? Oh my God, I really like, these. Oh my God, that's my favorite movie too. What kind of music do you like? Oh, I like this. Oh my God, that's my favorite band too. Like, you did this thing where the girl is like, it basically feels like you're talking to a guy that's like so desperate for your attention or so desperate.
Right.
Yeah. And then so one thing that I noticed early on in life is that, at least for me, so you're correct in identifying that I have a certain personality type and I can be hard to get along with. But I noticed usually a lot of girls that I talk to enjoy a good ribbing, right?
Yeah.
If you make fun of them or something like you. No, not oh, you're a fat bitch, right? Not something crazy like that.
Right.
But if somebody says there were a lot of times early on, in college and right after, where if I'm kind of flirty or talking with somebody, they'll say oh, I really like this band, and I'm like, oh really? Holy shit, I think that band is fucking horrible. And when you say something like that, the person will what? And you kind of fight around a little bit with it, but it's it's a funny thing, and you can have these interactions with people where because it's a more entertaining back and forth where it feels like both people are more plugged into the conversation, and especially if you can get somebody to argue about something they like, it leaves a good impression in their mind. But I think that outside observers will see that, and they take the wrong idea or impression from it sometimes. They'll look at it and be like, that guy just tweeted that queen like shit. All he's doing is making fun of the things that she loves, and he's a horrible, evil piece of shit. And when I talked to her, I told her that I loved every single thing that she loved. And I think that girls just want to be with abusive, horrible fucking men. And that's what they walk away with. Is that idea.
All right. Yeah. So they don't see. Actually, it is fun. I enjoy it. I just don't want a yes man. But the thing about it is that everybody I deal with, except for a couple of females, they give it. We call it shit talking. So it's we shit talk each other, not all the time, but most of the time, you know what I'm saying? And it's when you do it, it's funny as hell. Cause like last night I was like, okay, do this, hit this. And he was like, yes, queen. I knew you was doing it sarcastically. And I was like, and I didn't have time to deal with it. A lot of times you say snarky things and it's I'm so busy. I just laugh and I just keep it moving. I mean, that is entertaining. I think that's the reason why I guess that's the reason why people don't understand, because they're not in the joke. If it is a joke, it's not a joke, but they're not into it.
Yeah, it's really hard to walk that line well. And to be super clear for people that watch me, I'm way too far over on the other side of that line 99% of the time. That's why very few people can interact with me for a long time. But if I'm genuinely trying to flirt with somebody, or I'm genuinely trying, if I'm on a first date with somebody, I'm never going as hard as I am on stream. We don't sit down and I turn it up to 100 and it's how can I tear this person down in as many, right? It's usually way more lighthearted stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Before Tito Biggest, I'm gonna call her Tito Biggest, but I think her thing is TreeofLogic. I'm going to look that back up, correct, and put it correctly in the description if I got it wrong. Yet, effectively, what he spoke to, Steven / Destiny, spoke to the fact that it's not the factor of a guy being disrespectful, like I said, disrespectful or mean, malicious towards a woman. It's literally just being a little sarcastic, humor in a small form of disagreement. Because let's be honest, women like spice. They like spice. Doesn't mean they like spicy food. They like spice. When many women who don't have drama in their lives watch drama shows. Why? Because it gives them that spice that's not in their life. Why watch drama-based shows? And most people who like drama-based shows is geared towards women. So just that funny caveat of, hey, you don't try to turn into them, but you do start a disagreement, and she says, oh yeah, we enjoy going back and forth. Men know that, which is why they might come off a little harsh at the beginning and be harsh throughout, because women honestly like that. It's the aspect of, don't be too harsh to me. It's okay to be harsh. It's okay to be sarcastic. But when you're doing that, every once in a while, it's okay. But it's fine with everybody else. If you get what I'm talking about, women are fully okay with you being, aka asshole, to them if you're not doing it every day, all day. If you're doing it every once in a while, they're okay with it. And that doesn't mean while being an asshole truly disrespecting them. I don't know what she got to say next. But,
Now, hypergamy.
movies.
I'm seeing a lot of, and like I said, you're on Twitch, so I'm on YouTube, so I see some things totally different, and I see a lot of men are angry about hypergamy. Now, I guess if it's used in a malicious way, sure.
I don't think
You
men
know
are
what I'm saying? Where
angry about that.
let me give you an example of what I mean by malicious way. So a girl is with a guy,
Dating
and
up.
she's been with him while he went to college, and he's graduated, and so now he's on the apprenticeship, and she end up, getting with the boss. Okay, that's using it in a toxic way. Do you agree on that level, or do you agree with that?
I'm not sure if I would consider that hypergamy, but like sleeping with your boss to get ahead or whatever is
Well,
probably, yeah.
because his boss, okay, yeah, let me explain it more in detail. He's starting at his apprentice level, so he's not really getting paid, if he's getting paid at all, okay? And so the boss is the one who owns the company. He actually has the money, he has the clout, he has the status, he has the company. So therefore, instead of her being with the guy that she's like been dating all throughout college, knowing that, hey, we're gonna start off a little challenging financially, but in the end it's gonna pay off, she just, I guess they call it monkey branching from him to that. That's what they call. I didn't call it that. They call it that. That's what it.
I've heard similar terms of like upgrading, or there's other things that I've heard where
Yeah.
It happens. It does.
So
yeah.
upgraded. So I guess
It happens
you
in
can,
that this is very, I'm not going to name names obviously, but it's very funny because in the streamer world it happens where two people are dating and then one person gets way more popular as a streamer and then they'll break up and then the other person will quote unquote upgrade her. Like this shit happens in the entertainment world and everything. Yeah, and streamer. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that's the toxic way of using it. So I would say that when the healthy way of doing it is when a woman basically is in a position where she has options, and therefore she's like, okay, I'm ready to have a family, I'm ready to have babies, I'm ready to do that now and not have to wait. So therefore she goes with her best choice. Some men judge women for that, and that's why it's like I don't see a problem with that form of hypergamy. What is your opinion in reference to hypergamy, period, or in those two scenarios?
Okay. You can watch his response when I put the full video in the description below. Well, I'm going to speak to my response to her question. So, I personally believe that there's not a lot of men upset with hypergamy. Now, they speak about it due to the fact that it's a real thing. It's something that happens. But the ones who are upset about hypergamy are mostly the men who know that they haven't put in enough work to keep said woman around and she goes for a better option. I don't fault women for hypergamy due to the fact, and that's why I disagree with men being upset about it, because if she has a better option, and throughout all of history, a woman's survival was based off her selection of a man. Picking a better man for her works. The issue, and what I see often, is she's picking a better man in her mind that she wants, but that better man does not pick her in return. So it's not the issue of hypergamy, it's the issue of your selection pool that you actually go for. Let's say if you've been with said guy, and she used the example, let's use her example. If you've been dating dude throughout college, he gets his apprenticeship, he's not really making any money. What you did was you went from him to the boss that's toxic. When you say a woman has options, that means she's on the market. She's dating around to multiple people. She's not serious with anybody. And even if she is serious with one specific person, let's say they make $70,000 a year, you leave said person that actually would have been a good mate for you because you decide to date upward because you want to have kids now. You want to have the security without continuous building now. So you decide to shoot upward for security. I understand why you do it, but it hurts you in the end. So I don't understand why men are upset about it. Let's be real. Everything that she said, I don't really disagree with it. It's just a factor of selective hypergamy. You're selecting when to use hypergamy, almost like conditionary feminism. You're ready now to be a wife, a mother now. So what were you ready to do when you were in that dating relationship phase with this person who make $50,000, $60,000? Were you not preparing yourself to be ready to be a wife and a mother to said person? You just didn't think that he had that security that you needed, so you wasn't ready yet. And then because you have been dwindling your time away with other aspects, you now look, oh, I'm getting close to 30 and I really wanted kids. Women do it all the time. They have a biological clock already on them. Then what they do is they say, hey, I'm not gonna have kids in my prime years to bearing children. Let me get 5 years away from when I'm gonna start scientifically having complications. Closest to 30. 28 to 30 is most the window when women are accepting the ability to have kids with a man at that point. You get to 28 to 30, you start to focus on wanting to have kids. And if you've spent the first 18 to, let's say, 18 to 26 looking at your career, that means you haven't been on the dating market. So between 26 to 28, you probably should have been focused on getting that high class man that you wanted, that you have options to pick the best selected man. You should have focused on that for that last 2 years, because when you hit 28 and you decide, hey, I want to have kids, deciding I want to have kids, leaving the person you're with to find a better person is toxic in itself. Between that time period before you decide as a woman you're ready to bear children, you need to be ready with a man. Wanting to be ready to be a wife and to be a mother without a man already connected to you literally is saying that you're not ready to be a wife and a mother, because you don't even know what it means to be a wife or be a submissive feminine woman to your man. And you're not ready to have kids because you've been focusing on caretaking for yourself alone this entire time. So let's be real about it, women. Your biological clock does not determine the man you get. Your biological clock determines when you're going to seriously start looking for a mate. And what you need to have in your mind consciously before that is you need to be looking for a mate before you get to that window where now you're like seriously desiring it. Because having that man who's there for you, even if he makes 60, 70, 80,000, he doesn't have to be 100,000 or more earning. If he's making that, and you've already talked about how strong and independent of a woman you are, so you're already contributing something, right, to your own life. You all can be a over $100,000 earning together in most cases. So your child's life will be wonderful. Your life will be good. That's something I just wanted to put out there. Most women start looking for him to have that form of security when she decides that she's ready to have kids. But that is all on your side as a woman making the decision and has nothing to do with your outcome or what type of man you get. So I urge women, that woman, sexy woman, you don't decide in the seriousness of a commitment. Men do. You control having sex and bearing that child. You do not control that being a wife. You do not control that. And women have to stop going through that fantasy world of believing that. You cannot control literally getting that title as a wife. That is a man committing to you. You can be a baby mama, a girlfriend with, you can be a baby mama, a girlfriend, and a mother of your decision. Solely of your decision. You can be a mother, a baby mama, and a girlfriend. But you will not get the title as a wife unless you're a wife material. So please, please stop living in the fantasy world. That's the last thing I got to say. I enjoyed watching that. The thing she said, but does it really matter all the time to what they're saying? Or is it the assets though? Yeah. I'm done. I'm out. Peace.